Hello friends, welcome to my channel, The Lens India Professional Photography, and this series of Mastering Lightroom CC. So in this video, we'll be covering upon the tab effects in the develop module. So let's open this tab effects. So once you open this tab effects, you will see that there are two sections in this tabs. One is the post crop vignetting and another is the grains. Now, particularly this is the last step of the post-processing, usually what we follow to add some effect to our image. So when I say that effect, that is we can add the vignette, that is by making the corners little bit blackish or little bit slightly adding some highlights to the corners of the image. So both ways we can add this effect to the image. So the purpose of adding these effects to the image is so that we can bring our viewers attention within the photograph. So that is the sole purpose, and some people like to add vignettes to the photograph so that some depth is also getting created in the image. So let's see about those sliders what are available in the effect. So the first slider what we see is this amount. So once we slide the amount slider to the right, you will see that the white effect is getting applied, or the white corners are being seen. If you drag it to the left hand side, you will see the corners are becoming dark. So this is how the effects can be added, and the more you slide to either of the sides, the more the effect will be more prominent on the image. So these are the effects what we can add. This is how we can create the vignette on our image. So if we try to slide it to the left hand side, you will see that the image are becoming darker, and you will see that particularly where there is a highlight, the highlights are also becoming little bit darker. So at times it may happen that when the highlights are at that particular these corners or either of the corners, so they start appearing muddy. So to recover that, we have the slider at the bottom of this vignette, that is the highlight slider. So we'll see that we can recover the highlights to some minor extent, but not fully recoverable. So this is about the amount slider. So when we have the rest of the slider, so midpoint. So midpoint is basically to add more depth from the center of the image. The sliders are being used. So once you press the Alt, and if you try to adjust the sliders, it will give you what is the effect or where all this vignette is getting applied on the image. So this is how the effect can be seen by pressing the Alt or Option key on your PC. About the next slider, it is a third slider, that is the roundness slider. So you will see that the vignette can be of a circular shape, and if you drag it to the left hand side, the more it will become the rectangular. So if I slide the amount slider, you will see that the rectangle in a very prominent way. Then feathering. So feathering is that how sharp edges you want. So if you drag it to the left hand side, it will be very prominent. Now probably see, you can see that how the edges have become very sharp, and if you drag it to the left right hand side from left to right, you'll see that there is some feathering effect which is happening on the image. So I'm just exaggerating this vignette so that we can see it on the screen. So all the while I was adjusting all the sliders, when you can see the style is on the highlight priority. Now suppose if you, I'll just reset this, you will see the rest of the options. We have color priority and we have paint overlay. So many a times what happens that when we are working with the highlight priority, so the color shift happens on the corner. So if you want to prevent that color shift, so that color priority can be used, and the same way you can drag the amount slider to the either to the left or to the right and add the effect on the image so that the colors on the corners remain same. So you will see that when I am adjusting the amount slider, particularly these blues, so they will get a little bit impact, but they will not totally shift the colors when we are doing the color priority, and the rest of the slider working remains the same. The last option what we have, so before we move on to the last option, the last option is the paint overlay. So well, the paint overlay is nothing but like as if we are brushing the effect on the edges, and it will not bother about the pixels which are present in the picture. So just by doing it, we are just adding either the black vignette or the white vignette on the image, but it will, you will see that at the corners it has totally overlaid the effect on the image, and the corners have got completely impacted. So this is how the paint overlay will work. So by and large, if you see, the highlight priority is used most of the times. And if you ask me that when to use the black vignette or when to use the white vignette, so for me it is very simple that when I'm working with some mid-tone grays to low-key images, so I usually use the black vignette slightly to give some depth to the image. On the contrary, when I'm using when I'm working with the high key images, so definitely I would like to have the corners little bit white in this way. So this is the practice usually I follow when I'm using this effect tab for adding vignette to the image. Now one more thing what I just wanted to add here is that suppose when I'm adding this vignette on the image, I'm just exaggerating again. So you will see the name what is given is the post crop vignetting. So what does it mean? That now, for example, when I'm cropping this image, you'll see that the vignette is also moving along with the crop, right? So the crop has moved. So if you remember the lens correction tab, so we'll just close this effect tabs and go to the lens correction tab. And if I add the vignette, so sorry, I just missed to reset that effect in this post crop. So let's reset this, then add the vignette to the image. And if you see, if I want to add the, after adding the vignette, if I crop it, you'll see that this edge remained darker, but since we cropped the image from the right hand top corner, the vignette did not move with the crop. So this is what is the difference between the vignette when we apply in the lens correction and the vignette when we apply in the post cropping vignette option, which is available in the effects tab. Now the next option or the next section what is available is to add grain. So basically when we are working with some images and when we want to add some grains, we can add the grains in the image to give some creative effects. So these are very rare situations when we would like to add the grains in the image. Then the next slider is the size. You can see how the size is getting changed in the image by adjusting the size sliders. Also, if you want to add the roughness, you will see that the roughness is getting changed with the change in the slider position. So these are the effects which are given for the creative purpose. Usually when we are working with the photographs, so grains are not considered to be a good thing in the image because they appear like a noise, or they are the noise rather. So that is why the grains are very rarely used, but still at times there might be some situations, stray situations, where the grains needs to be added to add some texture or something like things in our image. So this is all about the effects tab. So now the next topic will be the last topic in the develop model, that is the calibration. So stay tuned for that video. And if you have any questions or comments related to this module or this tab per se, please feel free to mention it in the comment box so that I can answer. Also, one more humble request to all the viewers who are watching this video, please do subscribe my channel, because that really motivates me to add the videos more and more for the benefit of this community. So please subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you get the notification whenever the new video is uploaded. Thank you so much, and bye for now.